Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hi, everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All of that good stuff. I hope you guys had an amazing and blessed holiday. Hope you were able to spend time with your loved ones, spend time with your family, spend time with yourself. And if you are someone who gets super sad around the holiday times, maybe you weren't able to travel or you lost someone, just whatever it may be that it really didn't produce a good feeling for you. I definitely want you to know that I'm holding space for you guys, sending you some comfort, sending you some strength, and I 100% mean it. I get it. At the time of me recording this episode, actually it's tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the date of my best friend passing. So it was December 29th of 2017 when she went to sleep and she didn't wake up. So Christmas has been real shaky for all of us, these past couple years. It was just, it's just not the same. And when you have a trauma like that, or any trauma, it stores in your mind, it stores in your body. So as you start getting close to that date, that time frame, your body starts to react a certain way. And you have to think, it was just a couple of days after Christmas where all of our lives changed. This time where you're with your loved ones, you're doing holiday traditions, whether it's just a universal tradition or you've made your own traditions within your family. And it's just this time to just be chill. If you work a job, you have that time off. Sometimes people travel and people come in and it's just, that holly jolly time. And we had that. And then a couple of days later, we were struck with a death. And for me personally, it's been really tough because Christmas has always been my favorite holiday. I just love Christmas, especially if I could get a little bit of snow. I don't like snow all the time, but around Christmas, it's nice. You just see a little bit of snow outside. You just hear all the Christmas songs or Christmas movies that come on. Those throwbacks take you back to your childhood. And if you have children, and especially younger children, you just get to see the awe with them when they're opening up their stuff and they're just so excited. And it's just always been my favorite holiday. But the past few ones just have not been the same. And I know not last Christmas, the Christmas before that, I was actually by myself. I was in Arizona by myself. My kids were with their dad. And yeah, I was by myself and I didn't cook and have a Christmas dinner or any of that stuff. So it was interesting because as much as it, didn't feel like Christmas is the same. I mean, I really didn't want to be going to bed by myself in the house, Yeah, and then last year I didn't spend it in Arizona. I was in Virginia, but we did it because I didn't have at that time I didn't have I wasn't living in both places. I was only in Arizona. So when I would come to Virginia, I would just stay at my mom. So my mom had her Christmas tree up and stuff. So we were able to have some sense of that. But, I still wasn't in it. My heart really wasn't in it. And it was just, there, all my kids weren't together. Yeah. But this holiday, I said, I know, what it's going to do and how the sadness and that grief and stuff. But I was so intentional. And I said, you know what? I'm putting up a Christmas tree. I'm doing Christmas. I love Christmas, and I want to feel that again. So I was very intentional right? I was very intentional. I put up the Christmas tree. I put up stockings for everyone. I wanted all my kids to be here because we haven't, honestly, the last time we've all been together, meaning me and my 4 kids at the same time, was the end of 2019. And I was like, oh no, this is stupid. This should not be the case. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So I was a little bummed out, about that. But I was like, you know what? I'm still going to be in this good mood and this holiday, and let's go get some gifts. And I even did something, guys, super brave. On Christmas Eve, I went to the mall. I went to the mall, me and my 16-year-old. We went to the mall. And believe it or not, it was a lot of people there, but it was so chill. It went by super fast. The lines were long, but it didn't even feel like it. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of what a part of Christmas is being out here in the hustle and bustle with everyone and seeing them getting the last minute things or people that's maybe just popping up or whatever the case is. And it was super good, and it felt good. So when I say I know how you're feeling or how you felt, if it wasn't just, you were sad or felt lonely, and because that's been my story for a while. And while there were still bursts of it where I felt, a little off and just sad, because I was intentional to make sure that I, had a good time and just appreciated that I was alive, appreciated that my kids are alive, and we get to celebrate at Christmas. So just know that, I understand what you're going through and what you're feeling, and definitely holding space and sending you some comfort and some strength, absolutely. And I know it's easier said than done, however, I really highly suggest just be intentional and say, you know what? I want to feel better than I felt the last holiday time. I want to feel, and not even just with the holidays, just in general, to say, I want to feel better, because you know what? That's your right. You have the right to feel better. You have the right to be happy, to be and, joyful. And, you could just look at it like, you know what? Let me tell you this. So, Dr. Wayne Dyer's daughters were telling a story that their dad had told. And I don't remember exactly all of it, but I got like the gist of it. He said there was, I think that it was like this guy, and like I think it was his son. And if you guys know the story, I'm probably jacking it up, but you'll know like the main point of it. But his son had died, so he was sad, right? Of course, if you lose someone, you're sad. So then he went to this like event, and he was dancing, and he was happy, and he was smiling. And someone said to him, "How can you be so happy, and how can you be like smiling knowing that you just lost him?" And he said, because sooner or later, I have to feel better, or this is going to kill me. He said, so I'm choosing sooner. I was like, damn, that was so deep. And how many times have we said this in our life about anything? Well, sooner or later, I'm going to have to, release this weight. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to start cooking. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to figure some shit out because this shit going to kill me. Or sooner or later, I'm going to have to do whatever the case may be. Why not choose sooner rather than later? It doesn't take away from the situation. It doesn't take away from the person that we may have lost. It doesn't mean that we stop loving them because we're celebrating life and we're being happy and joyful. No, it doesn't. We still have the privilege and the honor to be alive and to be walking this earth. So why not enjoy it? Why not enjoy it? It doesn't take anything away. So I thought that was just beautiful, when you look at it like that. Well, sooner or later, why not choose sooner? Right? Why not choose sooner? All right. So in this present moment, I would definitely say that I am grateful for what I just shared with you. Grateful that I made the decision to do Christmas, to, be chill, be happy, to feel good, to attempt to feel just a little bit, even with just an ounce of how I used to feel when this holiday came around. No, I didn't get to recreate that whole feeling where everything was just like super like amazing or anything like that, but it was much better. And I'm grateful for that. I'm 100% grateful for that. So now it's your turn. What are you guys grateful for? All right. And normally when I do this, if you've been listening, we say, let's get grounded. And I want you guys to, close your eyes and, take the deep breaths and all that good stuff. I just want to do something a little bit different right now, just because I'm feeling called to. So follow me, rock with me on this, right? So I do want you to take a nice deep breath. And I just want you to breathe in through your nose. And then just let it out through your mouth. And now I don't want you to close your eyes. What I want you to do is notice the things around you. I want you to notice what's right directly in front of you. Like, what is that thing right in front of you? Just list it out louder in your head. Right? Well, what is the thing to the left of you? What is that? What do you see? What about to the right of you? What's over there? Anything over there? Notice that. Now I want you to really, after you pointed out what's in front of you and to the left and to the right, now I want you to really pay attention to the sounds. What do you hear? Is it just silence? Beautiful. Are you in the car? Is some impatient person blowing their horn? Somebody that's slammed on their brakes? Is your music playing? Do you hear other people's music? What are they listening to? What's the song? Are the lyrics sparking something to you? Like, what do you hear? Do you hear birds? Maybe you hear some water. What is it? What are the sounds that you're hearing? Are you able to smell anything? Like, what do you smell? Do you have a candle burning? Somebody else have a candle burning? Are you outside? Are you going for a walk? Is somebody cooking? Maybe you got your AirPods in and you're in the store and you're walking around like, what do you smell? Is it a food court? Maybe you don't smell anything, and that's okay. Now I want you to bring it back to your body. I want you to take another nice deep breath and just breathe in through your nose. And just go ahead and just let it out through your mouth. How do you feel right now? What is the feeling that you're feeling right now? Maybe you got a little tummy ache. Maybe there's some sort of pain in your body. Maybe you just feel good. You just feel light. Maybe you feel a little sad. Or maybe you don't even know how you feel, but you know you feel some type of way. And that's okay. Just focusing on the different senses. And now I want you to express your gratitude. What are you grateful for? All right, say it out loud, say it in your head. Are you grateful that you have these senses? Are you grateful to spend that 1 to 2 minutes just now, just scanning and seeing, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you smell? What's all around you? Did you notice something that's around you that's probably, maybe you're in your room and you're just noticing that? Or maybe you're somewhere you've been before, but because you were intentional and you were present and you were looking in front of you, you're looking to the left and you were looking to the right. And you're like, wait, has it always been there? Are you grateful for that? What are you grateful for? Just express it. All right. So I also want to add that I'm grateful for you guys. I did a post. If you follow me on social media at Mindset Slayer on Instagram, you would have seen I did put a post out there or at Seeing With Your Soul on Instagram as well. But I had 20,000 downloads. I'm over that now from the time. But it was so funny because I wrote on my wall, not actually on my wall with paper, but one of my goals was to hit 20,000 downloads on iTunes by February of 2022. And I hit it December of 2021. Like, let's go, baby. So I was super, super excited about that. So I want to just definitely say that I'm grateful for you guys. And thank you. Thank you. And it's such a big deal to me. And it's not necessarily about the number, about the saying, oh, like 20,000. It's the fact that I've been super Nah, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I've been hella consistent with this podcast, because I get bored easily. Like I get tired of things easily. So I'll start something and I'll be like, the excitement is over. So on to the next, right? But that's something that I've been really consistent with. And I don't talk about it. I don't promote it. I'll just promote. I'm the one who promotes it once a week on social media, and that's with my audiogram, and that's it. And then I just keep it moving. But that's something internally I'm working on, and I've been working through to really share more about what it is that I do. Not feel like I'm being irritating because I keep posting about this or feeling a certain way. Like, I got my things too that I still got to work through. So I want to be a lot, more intentional with putting it out there. So I'm super excited about it because one, I've been very consistent, and two, it's just been so organic and just so, even when like my numbers would be like rising at the month, and then I would see it like drop, it never bothered me, right? It never bothered me in a sense. Not like, oh, I don't care. It was just because I know that my intentions behind this podcast is not to have okay, let me say it. So the popularity and the well known, the energy behind that is not coming from my ego. It's just the more people that stumble upon my podcast and that hears it, and if you just 1 ounce of it resonates with them and it helps to shift their perspective or to do something differently or create like a change in their life, it's like, let's go, baby. That's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. So to have 20,000 downloads is like, wow, all these people like are listening, and it's super amazing to me, and I'm so humble and so grateful. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I was in the park one day, and when I was in Virginia, I was in the park, and I might have even talked about this before, so listen to me again. And I was on the phone, and I'm some AirPods, and I'm just walking, I'm speaking, and I get to the other side. I walk around to the other side of the lake, and then I get like a Facebook Messenger message, and this person, I've never met her in real life, so shout out to you. Like that. I just know her from Facebook, and I'm pretty sure we've probably seen each other maybe one time, and that was like in passing at a bank. But yeah, so she sent me a message, and she was like, any chance you're at the park? She was like, because I listened to your podcast and I know that voice, so I just started like looking around. And then I was messaging her back, and I was like, laugh out loud. I was like, yeah, that's the name of the park. And she just was at the park with the homeschool students. And I was walking past, and I was on the phone, and she recognized my voice. And I thought that was so dope because I didn't know she listened to my podcast. I didn't even know she knew I had a podcast, right? And then just recently in November, when I was in New York, my kid's cousin, his fiance was there, and when I seen him, and we were just speaking, and then she was just like, oh, she was like, I really like your podcast. She was like, I listened to your podcast, and it threw me off guard, right? I don't even know why, but it just threw me off guard. And I was like, oh, so I was like, what do you think? And she gave me like her feedback and stuff, and I was like, oh, that was super cool. And the thing behind it is, that's what I want. That's what I want. It's not the one particular person that I'm attracting. It's anybody that's out there. Anybody that is out there that knows that there's a part of them that believes that there's more to life than this, right? Than just existing. And they just want something they're just seeking something, but they don't know what they're seeking. And that's all of us. Everyone is. Some just don't really know it. So they put another title behind it. Right. So to get these random things with people that I don't know, like I know who, like some diehard people that just rock out and listen to every podcast, faithfully, and will slide and send me a message and be like, what's up? It's Thursday. Why ain't no podcast? Like, or why was your podcast on Friday instead of Thursday? Like, I know who those are, right? That send me different messages, so just seeing like the different types of background and the people that are listening to the podcast, I'm super grateful. Super, super grateful. So again, thank you. Yeah. All right. So something I wanted to just talk about quickly is, because I've already just been talking, I didn't even get into into the show. But you know what? This is what I love about having my own show. I could do whatever the hell I want to do. And I can channel and I can just trust, and whatever comes out of my mouth, it's just what it is. And if it's not what I thought that I was going to do, it's okay, because this is what I was meant to do, you know? So I'm really, really big on experience being the greatest teacher. And anybody that has a sense of influence, which is all of us, we all influence some people. Some is just many. Some could just be one. It could be your family member, your kids, like whoever. So we all have a sense of influence. And when you're looking to someone, you know, just because you want a better insight or you want to learn something new, I think it's super important that they, what is that saying? That they talk the talk or they walk the walk, meaning like whatever they're talking about to you or they're suggesting or they're saying, that they should have experienced it themselves. Because other than that, you just repeating something somebody else said. Right? So when I'm talking to you guys about healing and about like connecting with your body and, you know, connecting with your ancestors and, you know, connecting to the universe and God and, you know, the archangels or whatever it may be, trust and believe. Or if I talk about shadow work or your inner child healing, and I'm teaching these courses and doing these sessions and stuff, I done put in the work too. I put in the work too. So if I'm talking about something or I'm suggesting something, I'm not suggesting something to you that I wouldn't suggest like for myself, you know, if I'm going through that in that sense, right? So with all that being said, you know, healing is an inside job and it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. If you know that something or someone triggers you, and a trigger is a beautiful invitation for you to look within. It's just a highlight of a wound and something that needs some attention, right? Something that needs some love and some nurturing. And you know that this thing is triggering you or this person is triggering you or it's overstimulating you. It's your responsibility to do something about it. Even if you don't know what to do, just being aware allows that change, which allows that growth. So if you say, wait a minute, I don't like how this feels and I need to do something about it. Just you speaking that out there starts to create opportunities to change, opportunities to grow. Right? So it's your responsibility. So you've heard me probably talk about, if you've been listening, I talk about anything on the outside is a manifestation of our inside, internally. So when something is going on with us internally, it'll manifest on the outside, and it's manifesting on the outside so we can see it, right? So we can see it. We can't see the shit that's inside. We can't see those scars or those wounds and that trauma. We know that we've experienced it, but we can't see it, you know, per se. So if you are jumbled up all in like your head and you're so confused and it just feels like just clutter and you don't know, I don't know what shit, I don't know what to do, right? You may start to see a part like your car. If you spend a lot of time in your car might be really messy. Your room might be just cluttered. This might just be your purse, women, ladies, your purse might be full of a whole bunch of stuff. Well, that's what's going on inside. You need to release some things. You need to put things in certain places that's going on internally, but you can't see that shit. But what you can see is the clutter on the outside, and it's bothering you, right? So that's just the mirror and the reflection of the thing that's going on internally. So what do? Pick up that purse and you start clearing it out. You look at this thing. Do I need this? Why am I holding on to this shit? This paper is so old. I don't even need this no more. Actually, they sent me an email copy of this. So why am I holding on to this? Guess what? Throw it away. You don't need it anymore. It served its purpose. It served its purpose up until you had a digital copy and it's stored on there, right? Let's get rid of it. Same thing in your room. If you start to see your room is just piled up with all these papers and stuff, why are they there? Why are you holding on to that stuff in there? Why are you holding on to clothes that don't fit you anymore? What are you telling yourself? Oh, I'm going to hold it because, you know, sooner or later I'm going to fit it. Okay. Are we choosing sooner or are we choosing later? Because right now this is just one, taking up a lot of space, and two, it's probably making you feel some type of way. Because now you're looking at it and saying, like, I remember when I used to get, fit into those clothes. And now you're down on yourself, right? So we start getting rid of it. So we look at the things and we process it, and we look at the story that's attached to that thing. And then we want to surrender, we want to release it, we want to let it go, and we want to get rid of the thing and start cleaning those things up. And as we're doing that, it's being mirrored inside. So we're also letting go of some of maybe those stories that were attached to the things that's in your house or in your purse or whatever the case may be. But that's just like this reflection of the internal. So as you start to throw away those things that's no longer serving you, you're creating that change and you're putting that shift out into the universe that I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to release the things that no longer serve me. Right? So for me, I talk to you about all these things, but I go through stuff too. And my healing ain't done. My healing ain't done. I'm on a journey. We're all on a journey. Every day I'm discovering more and more about myself. Right? So I've been having this really bad pain on my left lower back. Right. So I know like the lower back represents like our foundation. Right. It also represents like money. Right. So if you're worried about like your basic needs and stuff, like you can store it in your lower back. So I've been having it really, 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 really bad on my lower back, but it's also my lower left abdomen. So I'm like, shit, I don't know where the pain is because you know how it radiates. I'm like, well, I'm not, I definitely could be a lot better financially, but I'm not stressing about finances. Like I'm not have been there. And I know checking in within myself that that's not the case. So I'm like, man, what am I holding on to? There's something deep that I'm holding on to. So I don't like going to the doctors, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the doctor because let me just make sure it's not something else. Even though I know that whatever is internally will start to manifest in the body. So even if it is something, there's an illness and all, it doesn't mean that I don't have some internal shit. No, it's saying that it turned into that, but one thing I like to do is I like to just, let me check to make sure that there's nothing like with the organs or anything of that sort, because regardless of the work that I'm doing on the inside, I will still need to have treatment from, Western meds. And it just really just depends. That's a whole other conversation, right? another podcast. So anyway, so I go to the doctor. And she was super cool. I already had it in my head at first. I was just like, she gonna irritate me because she always be trying to tell me what to do and don't do this and don't do that. And I'm one that I don't like that. But I said, you know what? I want to have a different experience when I go here. So I was very, mindful and set the intention. So she offered these things before I said it to her. So she checked my blood. She did she had them do an X-ray and all this stuff. Well, my blood work came back dope. My numbers is insane. I'm like, let's go, baby. And I have lupus, right? So, those numbers can be a little off the rocker, but everything came back great. My X-ray came back great too. So she's like, your spine is good, all that stuff. And I was like, all right, that's good to know. So that made me feel better. So I was like, all right, we need to tackle what's going on. What is it that's so deep that I'm holding on to? Because now it's a chronic pain. It's literally a chronic pain. Like whatever way I move, if I stretch, it just hurts really bad. And I'm like, I don't want to get used to this pain. I don't want to become numb to it because I know a lot of us do that. We have some type of pain in our life, whether it's a physical pain or it's like our heart hurts or, every time we think about the particular thing or we hear certain music, like it just hurts and we just become numb to it, that we almost like desensitized to that shit. And I'm like, that's not going to be my story. I've done that for so long. And I don't want that to be your story. So let's investigate. Let's get to the bottom of this, right? So as much as I danced, as much as I, meditated over it, as much as I stretched and did yoga, it's not working. It's not working for me. And I've done all these different modalities through, for these past few years. So I know when something needs to be either more or I need to switch up the modality. I understand that very well. And I understand my body a lot better. And I said, no, there's something that's just deeper. And this is a deeper cellular healing that needs to happen. And so one of my clients connected me to she had reached out to me and was like, hey, the shaman that I seen in Peru, the person reached out to her and said that they were going to be doing sessions. So she thought about me and wanted to know if I wanted to get a session with the shaman from, Peru. Yeah, let's go. I'm always down for healing. I'm always down for a new experience. So I had this session. It was really dope. So there's a translator. And the first thing he did was he starts with his healing aspect, and you're just sitting there and just looking at him, and he's doing all his do and his stuff. And I'm just there and I'm just present. And I know, this healing happens on a cellular level. It's an inside job. So things will be healed that you don't even consciously know, about them, what it is. So then we get to the part where he has me, close my eyes and take some deep breaths. And I was just present, and it was just quiet, and it was just still. And I felt myself drift 2 times, and I'm sitting up now. This drift and that drifting was, I could feel the energy shift, and I just got lighter, and it was so amazing. And when he was done with that part, the translator now, the mind you, nobody's talking to me. The translator says, he's translating what the guy says, and he says, "Have you been, sick?" Oh, well, let me back up. So he said when he asked me, well, maybe, I don't know. Okay. I don't even remember the order of it. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But he said, "Have you been sick lately?" So in my mind, I was like, that's a little vague because, what does that mean? And he said, the guy was like, "You are holding on to a lot of stuff in your body, and it's causing you this great pain." And he started talking about my back, right? And he said, all of this that you're storing is around relationships, and it's from your past. And he said, it's from your past. And you need to, he said, especially one relationship in particular, and the trauma from that, he said, it's affecting you, and this needs to be healed, and it's from your past. And from that being the first thing he said, first of all, it already resonated. And I didn't even get to ask my question yet, but I knew it, right? When you start to get more in tune with yourself and your body and doing your healing and your personal discovery and journey and stuff, you start process of elimination. And so I said, wait a minute, everything that I'm doing over here is not helping my back. It's not even making it even a little bit better. And I said, shit, then this has to be on a deeper level. And it is. It's past. It's past lives. It's hurt and trauma that I brought with me into this lifetime, and I need to get rid of that shit because now it's affecting me physically, and that we're not about to continue to do. So he says that, and then he starts talking about this fear and this heaviness around my heart and around my head. And the significance around that is when we were sitting there quiet, and he had me place my hands over my heart. And I was just, present and just feeling whatever needed to feel. My head was so heavy and just cloudy. It was just, I could feel all the energy around there. And then the left side of my heart, it was hurting. And this was before he was speaking. So when he said that, and then, so I'm at this point, I'm grabbing my notebook so I can take some notes of what he's saying. And then the guy's translating, and he says, yeah, there's a lot of fear. He said, there's fear of this unknown. And he said, it's like, you don't know who you are and your place in the world. And when he said that, the tears just started coming down my eyes. And it was just like that, not that it was just a slow cry. And that resonated so much. And that might be a shocker to some of you, where you're like, wait a minute, you know who you are, your purpose, you up here, da, da, da. Yeah, I know that. I know that. But the way that I have been feeling so strongly lately is there's this ultimate, we're always transforming, we're always evolving. And then you have those times where it's big and it's huge. And I've been feeling it coming. But these past, I want to say probably past couple weeks, it's really, really, really been heavy on me. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? Right. And my psychic abilities, my intuitiveness have been getting so strong that it's almost a little bit scary. And mind you, I've been doing this since 2018, right? Consciously aware of it. So I've done so many people and sessions and things to say to strangers and people who book sessions with me and all that. So when I be like, yo, I know that I'm good at what I do. I know that I channel. I know that I can tune into your energy. I'm like, yo, I got that shit on lock, right? And I said it in the most humble way. I'm just very confident in my gifts and my ability and the healing aspect, right? So good with that. I get that. But this shit that's been happening, we on some whole other elevation. I'm talking about if I do my daily pick a card or something, and I pull a card for myself in the morning, and then I'll pick, because the ones that I have, I'll do where I read the book. So that way I'm separating and I'm just picking a card and reading the book versus like interpreting it myself. So I'll do one of those in the morning. Like I don't want to interpret it myself. Like I want it as if someone was just saying that to me. So I'll pick the card, right? And then I'll pick up the book and I'll just open the book so I can go to the page. And as soon as I open it up to the exact page. And it's just been like this, right? Like, and that's just one example. Or I'll sit there and then I'll be like, oh, such and such. And then boom, they'll call me and say, hey, da da da. And I'm like, yo, I already knew what you was going to say. It's just heightened, right? But I started feeling like I was rolling my eyes when that would happen. I'm like, of course it is. Go figure. Of course this is. Of course that happened. Of course they said this. Of course this, that, you know. And I was feeling just like, oh, so overwhelmed with it. And what it is because I know that I'm getting ready to go to a deeper level. And it does scare me a little bit, right? Because I'm like, if I can do all this powerful work that I've been doing these few years, where the hell are we going next? What are we going next? What are we about to do? Like, you know, my dreams have been so vivid. I keep going back to sleep into the same dreams, air quotes over here, guys, when I say dreams. And I have been questioning this of like, where is this my place in the world? Like, what am I getting ready to do? And so much stuff has been coming up. So when he said that, like, I just started crying. And I'm a G. I don't be doing all that crying and shit in front of people. Now let me stop. But that was me before. But it was just a slow cry. And I was like, man, this healing thing, right? I wanted to share that, you know, portion. Now I went a lot deeper. And at this point afterwards, I did ask some questions, but those questions are sacred to me. So sorry, guys. I don't want to share that right now. And some of the things that was also given to me, but I wanted to share some of that with you to let you know that I'm on this healing journey with you guys, right? I'm not superior. I'm not the guru. You're your own guru. I'm my own guru. I am a guide, right? And if you listen to my podcast or you work with me one-on-one or you take a class or whatever the case may be, I'm not going to fix you because you're not broke. But what I am going to do is guide you and take you as far as I'm meant to take you. And then another teacher is going to come because we can't do this alone. It is our responsibility, but we can't do it alone. Other people have these gifts that they came here to help us, you know, along the way. And it could even be just a stranger, right? It could even be a stranger. The day that I went to the doctor, the nurse that checks you and stuff, most of the time they irritate me because they be asking me all these questions. I know. That's just me being ridiculous. Well, she had the thermometer thing and she went to go put it in her pocket. And as she was going to put it in her pocket, she said, let me put this in the pocket before I drop it. And guess what she did? She dropped it. And as soon as it hit the ground, bam, and it just pops open. And I just opened my mouth and I said, be mindful of your words. They're very powerful. And she was like, you are so right. And she just kept saying that. And, you know, and then she left. And it was interesting with that of how that happened. For whatever reason, I was meant to tell her, be mindful of her words because her words are very powerful. She knows what that meant. But it had to happen through that whole, you know, that thing, right? So at that moment, I was there to give her that message. I don't know what that was for her, what she did with it, or what's been going on in her life, because we didn't conversate or anything of that sort. But, you know, you'll have your guides, right? You'll have your guides. When I'm talking to you guys and I'm doing podcast episodes or, you know, in a session with someone or whatever the case may be, like I'm helping to heal myself too. Because when those things start repeating and I start to see that I'm saying giving the same message, and here there's 3 completely different people and the message is the same, I know that message is also for me, right? So I wouldn't dare get on here or any other platform and act as if I got it all together and I got all the answers and I am the guru and this and that. No, I'm on this healing journey with you and I am 100% sure that healing is an inside job and it is my responsibility and it is your responsibility, right? We're not going to play victims no more. We're not going to be in victim mode and blame our parents and blame society. Now, while they all influenced it and we might not have been aware or maybe even been in a position to make a choice or decision because we were a little kid or whatever the case is. But right now, it is our responsibility to heal. And if you don't know what to do or how to go about and do that, experience everything. But first start by making that decision and saying, wait a minute, I know there's some things that I need to heal from because I don't like the way this makes me feel. This throws me off. This makes me feel some type of way. And I'm ready to change it. I'm ready to change. Say it out loud. Write it down. Script, write it down. The universe is going to match that energy because that's the energy you're putting out there. And then the opportunities are going to start presenting itself to you. The opportunities to heal the situations, right? You might be faced with some shit, but you've been here before. And that's the opportunity for you to make a different choice or a different decision so you can change it. So you can change it because you already know what it feels like to feel like that. And you might not want to feel like that no more. So the universe is going to wrap you up a nice, beautiful gift that may come in heartache, grief, pain, anger, but it's a present. It's a beautiful present for you to say, are you going to repeat the same thing? Or are you going to do something different now? And if you choose to do the same thing, no one's judging you. I mean, people might judge you, but fuck it, they're just judging themselves. But the universe isn't judging you. It's just saying, okay, you need a little bit more time to learn this lesson and to grow through this, right? However, it's your responsibility. So as it's your responsibility, I want you to make sure that you're giving yourself grace and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to take this one day at a time because guess what? That's all that we have. That's all that we have. You might want that quick fix of that healing. And I'm here to just tell you the truth. It ain't happening. It's not happening. You're going to try different things. And just as long as every day you're feeling a lot better about yourself, about the situation, you're releasing some things, you're opening yourself up to new experiences. Because goddamn, we ain't come here to be the same. That shit is whack. We came here to grow and have different opportunities and learn more about ourselves, learn more about other people, learn more about life. Healing happens on the inside. It doesn't happen on the outside. You can get all dressed up nice and pretty, and you can do your makeup, and you can do your hair, and you can be wearing the dope ass shoes, carry the nice ass bag. But until you heal that inner part, what does all those other things matter? And I'm not saying don't go do those things. Nah, go do that shit. Just make sure that you're working on the inside. Because when you get to work on that inside part, that deeper level of that healing and of that self-love, boy, whoo, you really, really get to experience those outer things. Because then you're not walking around feeling like you're a fraud, feeling like you're fake and like, oh, like I'm all this. Then when you get home, you take the mask off and you know that you're dying inside. It's like, nah, when you getting out there and you stunting on them, you're like, yo, I feel and look good on the outside, but my inside match that shit too. My inside matches that. So, I want you guys to do a little bit more of reflect on 2021. If you haven't already listened to the podcast before this episode, I talk about the reflecting and the 2 words, picking like these words to go into 2022 and shifting that energy around there. Mine is intention and expansion. It's crazy because now the expansion just keeps popping up for me all over. I'm like, of course it is. Of course it is. So thank you guys again for rocking with me on this podcast. As we are heading into 2022, I've already shifted the energy to be a lot more even intentional with this. I'm going to talk about the podcast a lot more, putting it out there. But also I want to really lean in more with bridging the gap between spirituality and practicality. So like, you logical people who are always in your head Ain't nothing wrong with you. We need to be in our head, you know what I'm saying, and logical at times. But I want to talk about the spiritual part and how we can bridge that gap so you can have all the tools to be able to maneuver through life. So I'm excited for what I'm gonna shift and bring more into in 2022 on this podcast. Also, I started off having a lot of guests, and then I fell back because this podcast is really meant for just me. It's really meant for me, and I'll bring guests occasionally. But I have some dope ass people lined up for 2022 to bring to you guys, and it's more on the healing aspect, our spirituality, right? But really going deep. And you know what? I'm gonna save this too. I was about to say something, but I was like, you know what? I'll wait a little bit, and then in 2020 I'll drop some more of that. So quick update before I close out when it comes to the real estate. So I did go ahead and close it. When I was talking to you about the experience, I said by the time you listen to it, I've been closed on my second deal, which will make it my fourth property, which is going to be a flip. Yes, that did happen. And now I'm closing out of 2021 with one more. We are closing on December 31st. And this one is going to be the first property. So it'll be my third deal, but my fifth property. And this is going to be the first of my elevated senior care home. So it's going to be a home for the elderly, so that way they can rock out in their last beautiful days, not having to be in a facility or like a nursing home and just another patient, where it's going to be very like homey and roomy and all that good stuff. But I'm going to update you guys on that. So I'm super excited about that. Mid next year, I will have the Heal, Align, and Glow Holistic Healing Center. It is going to be in Virginia. So the first location is going to be in Virginia. So I'm hoping between anywhere like June, July, as it looks right now, that will be opening, but I will be bringing more of that and putting all that information out and hoping that you guys will travel and come to Virginia to experience this. It's going to be so dope. I'm so hyped and I get so excited about that. But all right, guys, I'm going to talk your head off long enough. Until next time. Oh, no. This is me starting by putting it out there. If something that I said on this episode resonated with you, yay! I would love for you to share it with someone that you love, share it with a stranger. Just put it out there. The more that you can leave a review or rate it, it'll show up more. We got to play this little algorithm thing, but it'll show up more for people as a recommendation. And the more people that can hear it, they can just grasp just a little bit. It can just help make their day better, their journey better, and just open them up to a lot more. So I'll thank you guys in advance. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer or visit www.healingalignglow.com.